Welcome to the deep dive. So the Forbes 2025 Billionaires list just came out.
Yeah, it's always a big moment, and it really gives you a snapshot, of global wealth right now. It's kind of astonishing.
Definitely. And the numbers this year, quite something, right? We're talking a record number, 3,028 billionaires.
3,028, it's a lot. It gives us that peek into where wealth is concentrated and maybe, how people got there, different paths.
Exactly. Which is why this list is so fascinating year after year.
And for this deep dive, we thought, okay, let's look beyond just like the absolute top names.
Good idea.
We found this report from the Mississippi Clarion Ledger. It digs into the Forbes data a bit.
Okay. Focusing on a specific angle.
Yeah. And our mission really is to pull out the most significant bits and maybe some surprising stuff too.
Right. Make sense of the big picture, but also find those interesting nuggets.
Exactly. Give everyone a clear understanding without drowning in numbers. It's easy to do that with these lists. So yeah, let's focus on the key trends, the stories, and make it relevant.
Okay, let's dive right in then. The headline grabber, Elon Musk.
Yep. Back on top. World's richest person again. First time since what, 2022?
That's right. It's a pretty notable shift. Forbes has his net worth at $342 billion.
Wow. 342 billion. That's just staggering.
It really is, especially after Bernard Arnault and his family held that top spot.
Yeah, remember that. So what do you think pushed Musk back up so dramatically?
Oh, it shows how dynamic things are at that level, doesn't it?
For sure. And just look at his ventures. It's almost everything.
It really is. You've got AI with XI, social media with X, then Tesla EVs, solar batteries, and SpaceX literally reaching for the stars.
Exactly. It's an incredibly broad portfolio. That seems to be the driver.
Such different fields, too. Cars, space, AI.
But maybe there's a common thread, like that disruptive innovation idea.
Yeah, tackling huge, maybe impossible seeming challenges. That makes sense.
Seems to be key to accumulating that kind of unparalleled wealth.
Then Forbes had a specific comment, didn't they? Something about influence.
They did. Let me find the quote. Here it is. This time around, he's giving the billionaire class more control over the government than ever before.
That's pretty direct.
And they mentioned his connection to Donald Trump as well, right? So Forbes is definitely pointing towards that overlap between huge wealth and political power.
Yeah, highlighting how someone with that financial clout could potentially influence policy and governance.
It's definitely something to think about, the broader implications, for sure.
Okay, so Musk is number one, but stepping back, what about the overall trends, the bigger picture?
Well, like you said, the record number is the big one, 3,028 billionaires, which is an increase of 247 just from last year.
Wow, nearly 250 new billionaires in 12 months. That's a significant jump.
It really suggests an acceleration in wealth creation at the very, very top.
And are they richer on average too, or just more of them?
Richer on average as well. The average fortune is now $5.3 billion.
Okay, and that's up from 2024.
Yep, up by about $200 million on average.
So more millionaires and the average billionaire is wealthier. Where are they mostly geographically?
The U.S. still leads by a long shot, 102 billionaires.
Okay.
Then China, including Hong Kong, has 516.
Still a huge number.
And India is third with 205. So those three really dominate: U.S., China, India. Got it.
And the article mentioned Forbes talking about the U.S. environment for wealth.
Yeah, they called it a favorable backdrop for wealth creation.
Okay.
And they even linked it to Trump becoming president, calling him America's billionaire in chief.
Huh, that's quite the phrase.
It is. It's Forbes' interpretation, suggesting the U.S. political and economic climate has been particularly good for, well, accumulating massive fortunes.
Right, emphasizing that link between politics and wealth again.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's the global view. Let's zoom in now like we planned. Mississippi, right?
Mississippi, maybe not the first place you think of for billionaires.
Probably not, but there are two on the list. Brothers, actually.
James and Thomas Duff.
That's them. And the Clarion Ledger report says they're tied with a worth of $3.3 billion each.
3.3 billion. Okay. And that puts them where on the global list?
Number 1,100 and 108, and they both live in Hattiesburg.
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
See, shows wealth isn't just, Silicon Valley or New York.
Exactly. It can be built anywhere, often in industries that aren't always splashy.
Absolutely. It's often about deep knowledge in a specific sector, then smart expansion, consistency.
So how did they make their money? The Duff brothers?
Well, the original business was tires, Southern Tire Mart.
Tires. Okay.
Their father, Ernest Duff, started it way back in the 70s, sold it in 98.
Okay. So the brothers didn't start it.
No, but here's the interesting part. They bought it back in 2003.
Oh, wow. Kept it in the family sort of after a break.
Exactly. And they've massively expanded it since then.
How big are we talking?
According to Forbes, it's their largest holding, selling over 4 million new tires a year.
4 million.
And get this, 2.5 million retreads for trucks annually.
Whoa. That's a lot of tires.
Really is. And they partnered with Flying J truck stops too. So the scale is just huge.
You really don't think of tires equaling billions, but those numbers?
Yeah, tells the story, doesn't it? But that's not all they do.
Oh, diversify.
Big time. They started an investment firm in 2007, Duff Capital Investors.
Okay.
Total revenue over $5 billion, more than 20 companies under that umbrella.
$5 billion in revenue. From what kinds of companies?
All sorts. Trucking. They own KLM and Frozen Food Express.
Right. Big names in trucking.
Construction too, with TL Wallace, hospitality, Magnolia Grill, Magnolia Inn and Suites.
Okay.
Plus car dealerships, real estate. It's incredibly varied.
There's some serious diversification spreading the risk.
Definitely. Built on the tire success and then branched out strategically. Protects them if one sector dips.
Makes sense. Sounds like a major economic force well beyond just Mississippi.
For sure. And Thomas Duff, one of the brothers, he's also been involved in public sector stuff.
Oh, yeah, like where?
Served on the Mississippi Power Company board since 2018.
Okay.
And also on the state's Institutions of Higher Learning Board of Trustees for nearly a decade until 2024.